Welcome to this episode of the DTP Show. If you are not familiar, or this is your first time tuning in to the DTP Show, this is where I like to highlight my students. My name is Amber Crudup. I am the founder of Design to Profit, aka DTP, where we help designers transform their businesses and their lives. And this show is to highlight and to feature those students and to really offer a source of inspiration, a source of empowerment, and a source of just seeing what is possible for designers. So if you're a designer out there and you got big dreams and you're just not sure how to make it happen, this show is perfect for you because we're going to talk all about Sarah's journey before DTP, during DTP, after DTP, all that good stuff. So before we get started, Sarah, let me have you introduce yourself. Tell the people who you are.
Yes, so my name is Sarah, and I'm the owner of Sarah Monroe Media, which is a branding, website, and course design agency. And so I recently did just split my businesses into two agencies, which we'll talk about later about why. But yeah, that's all about me.
Yes, I love it. And where are you located?
I'm in Richmond, Virginia.
Richmond, Virginia. Okay. Just so sometimes that East Coast represent, connections. You never know, right? You never know. So
Right.
you shared some really amazing highlights with me, and I kind of want to share those, and then we'll go through your journey because I want people to know kind of where you are so that they have more appreciation for where what you've gone through to get to this point, because that's probably where they are now. But so as a VIP day student, you spent in it well we spent an entire day together. I was gonna say you spent a day with me, but
Mm-hmm.
it was together. So just in that day, in that intensive, I think it was we did a full 8 hours. It was a long day. But so you said your top three breakthrough moments or lessons were when you saw your confidence increase significantly and was able to articulate your value more effectively. When you went from no clients to booked out for months in advance, having my first 5-figure month was absolutely crazy. But I knew it was possible after talking and working through my business with Amber. I felt confident that I could and would have a successful business. And then lastly, you said, I think more important than my other two moments or lessons was the fact that I learned I could have a successful business and be a great mom and be a great wife. Yes. You said so for so long you felt you were stretched so thin, but we were able to teach you and show you that you could give yourself grace and space, grace to be a human and to prioritize the things that you value most, and space to have wiggle room just in case life happens. No offense to other coaches, but I was tired. Way past tired. All of people saying just manage your time better and blah blah blah. Others provided blanket statements and generalized solutions, but Amber, she met me where I was, didn't judge me, and truly impacted my life in ways I didn't even see for myself. Whoa, you wrote this a while ago. Like, did you remember, like, word for word what you written, or was it? How
Yeah,
does it feel to hear that?
I'm like tearing up right now, and it's too early to cry.
I know, right?
but But no, like it was literally like it's no. I'm not gaslighting Amber. Like I'm not none of that, y'all. Like she literally changed the game for me. Like literally, because if I can, I don't know where like what questions you have to ask me, but if we can just go back down memory lane, I
Yes,
don't know
let's
how well
start
you
there.
remember,
Let's start
but this time last year. I was sending you screenshots of my bank account in the negative saying I want to work with you, but I just can't.
I
Like, and
remember.
I'm not lying. Like, it's in the negative. Like, it
Yeah.
wasn't just a little negative. It was negative, y'all. Like,
Mm-hmm.
it was negative with no clients in sight. And so, like, just to even I came back to her. I was like, Amber, I got the money. She sent a email with like Google Docs about a VIP day, like a new offer.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is what I need. I don't need 12 months. I don't need all this time. Like, I need to go now.
Now.
Like,
Yes.
and even at one point, you were even like, are you sure you don't want to just do like the program? I'm like, no, I need it now.
I'm over here trying to talk you out of it because I'm like, the extra like, no, I know what I want, I know what I need.
Yes. And so that was like the scariest investment I've ever made. Even still to this day, I haven't made a bigger investment than that investment to
Yeah.
this day. But it was like the most transformational. And not only that, but I got that investment back so quickly. Like it hasn't been like right now I'm booked until July. It's
Yes.
April.
Yes. Hold on.
And
April
so
and July. So booked out 3 months in advance. Yeah, you booked
yeah.
the first year or the first part of the year. Yes.
Yeah. And so it's literally like it literally just changed my entire life. Like literally.
Okay,
Literally.
let's even take it a step back, because my first question that I wanted to ask, which we kind of started to touch on, was what was the problem you were facing prior to DTP? So you knew, because we had been having conversations. Like I remember those DMs, and I'll be 100% honest. I get messages like that, and most people don't follow back up, but you did, and I was like, okay, I see you. There's already a level of separation, right? But can you kind of paint that picture for us, leading up to you trying to just figure out like, how am I going to make this work? Like you knew you needed to invest in getting the help that you needed, but the investment, and when you don't have clients, like how did that feel? Tell us about like that time in that situation, because I know a lot of people are right there right now.
Yeah, so beforehand, like I knew I needed help like articulating my value. Like I started designing in 2010 and I was in high school. So like I already knew like the basis of design. Like, I had started my business in 2017 officially doing like social media and stuff like that. So like I had like that under my belt, but going into 2021, I knew I only wanted to focus on websites and courses.
Mhm.
Like, what, girl? Like, you went from having clients to changing the game. Like, are you crazy? And I thought I was
Yeah.
crazy. And so, like, April came, like, I got my first client in January. It was, like, for $2,400. I'm like, yes, I'm doing it. Because, mind you, like, before then, it was $400. So, like,
Uh-huh.
I didn't raise the price to $2,000, honey. Like, you
Yes.
can't
Like,
tell me
what's that? A
nothing,
six
okay?
X? That's a 6X increase right there. That's huge.
Yeah. And so I thought I was doing the dang on thing until I realized that, like, I don't want to say it was by luck, but I didn't even know how to, like, do that again. Like, I couldn't do that
Okay.
again,
Okay.
So I knew at that point, like, I didn't know how to articulate my value in a way that could get a stranger off the street to
Mm-hmm.
pay me my, I'm not going to say my words, but my prices at that time. And so I knew that. And then even closer to the time where I actually came on board with you, I couldn't keep my boundaries. Like I had a client who wasn't giving me their stuff. I wanted to fire her, but I was scared to fire her. And it was a mess, y'all. And then I just knew like overall, I was just overworked and underpaid. Like I was adding all of these services to my service list and including it in the package so I could raise the price. And I was just burnt out.
Yeah.
I was burnt the F out.
Right.
If
Right.
I could
That's
just
really
put
the
it that
only way
way.
to explain it. So, okay.
Yeah.
So my next question was, how did the frustration feel as you tried to solve that problem? But you really just answered the question. So, trying to figure out how to repeat what you had done. And that's wild, because I see that. It's either two ends of the spectrum, right? So you raise your prices and either you don't sell it at all, or you do sell it and then it's like, okay, how do I do it again? So there's this
Right.
really weird space around raising your prices and actually being able to land those clients consistently.
Right.
So you felt overworked, just really burnt the f out. And let's give us, so you're a mom of,
Mm-hmm.
you have a little girl, like she's a toddler.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
that's
she's
full time.
2. She just turned 2. Yeah.
Yes. So there's that, and then we're a wife as well, plus running a business, plus just being yourself, trying to take care of
Right.
yourself, like on top of the frustrations from your business. So you mentioned in the blurb that I had read previously, like other coaches. So had you invested in other coaches prior to Design to Profit?
Yeah, but it wasn't in the way that like you were my
Mm-hmm.
coach. So whether it was like a conference or a group coaching program or like a membership club or something like that, I
Okay.
had done that before, and I never really seen a return on my investment. Now I do have to take accountability and say, well, Sarah, did you really put in all the effort you could
Right.
have? Did you really implement blah blah blah? But I think what really turned me off from like all of those coaches really being able to pour into me completely
Mm-hmm.
was the fact that like they couldn't relate. Like if you don't have children, if you don't have a man who's looking at you like, babe, I'm hungry. I mean, obviously you can cook
Right,
for
right.
yourself, but
What's for
like,
dinner? The
but
famous
you want
question.
to. Yeah, like if you don't have all of those things, I'm sorry, but for me, you can't relate to me because don't tell me to make more time when I'm already waking up at 4 and I'm not going to sleep until after midnight. So
Yeah.
like, what time is there? They don't tell me the time management because I literally have a she can't do for herself. Like she just turned 2 on Christmas Eve. So like even when we were working together, like she had just turned 1 really, you
Yeah.
know? And so being like a stay at home mom, running my business, like I had quit my corporate job in 2019. So like, or 2020. So there was no, I was the income. Like
Mhm.
there was no other option. And
Yeah.
so yeah, so really being able to like see your life and well, get a glimpse of your life of seeing you like with your boys and like with your husband and having a successful business and just all the things like that right there was like, okay, I can at least listen to what she has to say because she knows the struggle. She's not just talking the talk and not walking the
Right.
walk.
Yeah. I
And
get that.
so yeah, so that really helped me. Just like I'm not about to invest in nothing else. Until this day, like I haven't invested in any other coach that I don't feel like can relate to me
Mhm.
because no,
That's huge.
no.
I totally understand that because I've gone through that as well in my own experience with coaches. There were two specifically. One, the first coach I had, like she was a single woman, you know, like her,
Yeah,
and it took me a minute to realize, like, oh wait a minute, this is not gonna work for me. What she's
right.
telling me to do, this is not gonna work for me. So I got another coach, and it was a man, and he didn't have he was married, but no, like that's a whole different situation.
Yeah,
And I followed a strategy he shared, and I literally got sick twice during a launch using his strategies because they weren't meant for me. So that is such
right,
a valid point. Like when you are looking to work with someone, making sure that the lifestyles really align, because the expectation of you being a mom, a wife, a business owner is all the things is totally different than a single person, totally different than someone who doesn't have any obligations, that maybe is only married. Like those things really matter. So I
right.
love that that is a part of your decision making process. I love that so much.
Yeah, definitely.
So tell me, okay, in our situation is a little different because you did a VIP day versus the full 12 months together. So can you tell me, like, was there a point in our intensive during that day that, like, you were like, okay, things are clicking, that were kind of, you could see a difference, not only in just like relatability, but just what I was sharing, the strategies and the things like that, versus, those other programs and coaches you had been in? Was there anything that during that day really stood out for you?
During the day, I would just say like all of the aha moments that we had with like figuring out exactly like who I served and like what the transformation was that like I actually helped them do because we always hear like make the I help statement.
Yeah.
The I help statement is hard as crap. And then not only that, but the I just recently saw this somewhere, but the I help statement really is for you, you
Mm-hmm.
know, to like help you gain more clarity and help you be able to articulate your value better. But of course, like sometimes, of course, like we have it client facing sometimes, but sometimes it needs a little bit more tweaking for them. So I think just having that I help statement and really like knowing that that fit me well, because I did the homework beforehand. So like the same DTP homework that if you join DTP, what you should, that same homework that you do, like I also did that before
Yeah.
the call because this was a huge investment, y'all. I
Yeah.
needed her to make make a difference. I actually showed up properly. I printed off all the pages, all of them.
Yes.
My binder. I still got the binder too. So yeah, but that I help statement, it really just helped me like really be clear on what I was doing. So when we got to like the packages and the services and the pricing, like that was so much clearer, and I felt more confident to charge us. You told me to go from $3,400 to $6,700.
I know, and you was like, okay, looking at me like, okay. Yeah, so let's talk about that then.
Yeah.
So how did that feel? Because, you know, that is one thing. Every student, when they come in, 9 times out of 10, I'm having them increase their price. But, you know, you actually had already sold something at that price point, I think. Or, like, you had worked your way up. We talked about it. It was uncomfortable, but you felt it was in reach. Like, we didn't do anything that stretched you so far out of your comfort zone that you didn't believe it was possible. So can you talk a bit about, like, how it felt to say, okay, have someone say, listen, you need to go from, you need 3 extra prices, essentially. How did that feel? What was it like in that moment?
Yeah, so in the moment, of course, it was scary, but I also felt confident that you had already given me the tools to make that increase, and that you had seen the value in me that I maybe couldn't see in myself at that moment. And so for me, it was like, okay, well, Amber not going to lead me wrong. She ain't let me wrong all this time. So if she's saying that I could do this, she probably can see more than that, but she's just giving me something that's out of like uncomfortable, but comfortable enough.
Yeah.
And so I took that and I literally ran with it. Like, you said 6,700. I did that like immediately. Like, I didn't pay all this money not to take action now. So
Yes.
I did it, took action, raised the prices, and now even like today they're double that. And so it's like something that was so scary now is like, well, it starts at 12,000. Like, I don't want to say take it or leave it, but
it's kind of what it is.
You want this transformation or no? You know, so
yes. Okay.
So yeah.
So let's just pause for a minute. So pre DTP VIP day, you were at 2,400, and that was up from 400. So 400 to 2,400 within the VIP day time together. We were like, we got a 3x it. We went to 6,700. And how long did it take you to double it? Because you're now at 12K for your investment. How long did it take for you to go from 67 to 12K?
I would say maybe 3 clients. Maybe. I think I went from the 67 to 10, and then I went to 12. And so yeah. So I mean, don't get me wrong. Sometimes I do have clients like if they're because this is for my course design services. So if their course is like a little smaller, then but the lowest is 10. Like the lowest is 10 for a full service. So yeah. But I would say maybe like by that 3rd client, I was at 12.
Okay, so let me also pause too, because I want to just like clarify, because what I teach is how I help you get to high ticket, right? But it's not just raising your prices and saying I'm high ticket. It's actually landing and closing high ticket clients, right? This is what we're talking about, right?
Right.
We haven't just raised the prices and no one's buying. We've raised the prices multiple times and people are buying.
Right.
So, like, how does that feel? Like, to just, because we know where you've come from, right? We were in the negatives, right? Like, I've been there, totally. And I think anyone who really is serious in their business has been in that point, because it kind of, that just kind of is what it looks like. So you went from, you know, being in the negatives, you were able to sell a higher ticket package, couldn't figure out how to do it again, and now being able to book, you know, 5-figure projects, like, that's what it is, without batting an eye. Like, how has your life changed because of that?
Yeah, like, it's just been completely different. Like, I'm able to hire people now. Before, I couldn't hire nobody because I was barely getting paid myself.
Yeah.
So yeah, so now I'm able to hire people. I have independent contractors. I'm about to bring on a project manager, and it's literally just changed the game. Like I'm able to spend like more time with my husband and my daughter, and like actually like be present, you know. And so yeah, so I'm really excited. I've been able to like take vacations, which I hadn't before, really, without being
Listen,
stressed or like taking your laptop.
yes,
So
like
it's
that is amazing.
yeah,
I,
yeah.
this is it, y'all. Like this is it. It ain't really. It ain't the money. It's the money is a tool. What does it allow you to do? You're able.
Mm-hmm.
You're growing. You're now an agency, and you said you've split into two businesses. So tell us about that. This is an update. I'm excited to hear about that.
Yeah, so one of the things that you had said during the VIP day was like, Sarah, you can't target both like your course design and your web design clients at the same time.
Mhm.
And so we didn't really talk about it much like during that call, but I knew that if I could nail down one of the areas, that I could figure out the other one.
Exactly.
So that's what I did. So at the beginning of this year is when I officially like announced that like I had split it into two. And so I have purposeful designs, which is like branding and web, and then
Mhm.
I have impactful courses, which is branding and courses.
Yes.
And so it's been like really great that way too. To just be able to like have two different audiences that may eventually need like both services, but being able to like talk directly to them and
Yeah.
articulate that value with only information that they want and need at that time. And so it's been great.
I love that so much. And let's take a step back because I know, like, I say this a lot. Like, I know we want to help everyone. Like, we just do. And not to say that's what you wanted. You were more specific,
Mm-hmm.
obviously. But there were two very different people. And, you know, sometimes we have to focus on the one so that we can grow, so that we can really, build up that expertise, which then allows you to expand. So I love
Mm-hmm.
that. I love that so much. And you really didn't give me any pushback. I think that's probably one of the best things I can say about the way you came in was, well, one, you came in having done the homework, right? You were prepared, but you came in and you listened, and you were like, I've invested this money to hear what she has to say, and you listened, but you didn't just listen, you took it and you implemented it. And then what I love, like one thing about my style of coaching is that it really is to empower you. And you didn't need me to make this other decision to grow and to branch out and to expand. It just is part of like that foundation that we build
Mm-hmm.
within. So I just love so much that you're just that action taker. You came in knowing exactly what you wanted, and you got those results. So I mean, I feel like you've painted the picture so clearly. Is there anything else like that we didn't talk about that you want to just make sure the people know? I'm just so impressed by you. Like you came in, I remember getting your text message, and you were like, it was like within 30 days. You were like, ever, like I already done made my investment back. I think within, what is it? I think you said between the VIP day, which was in July or August, I think, through the end of the year. Do you remember what you brought in revenue wise within 6 months after the VIP?
It was 50K.
50K,
Yeah.
$50,000 within six
Yeah.
months, and that's amazing, amazing.
Yeah. And like if you even just think about not only like the money wise, but even like the type of clients like I was working with,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, top tier. Like top tier,
Yeah.
like some of the people like I looked up to the most, are now like my clients. And like I'm seeing them like in their fields and like they're like the go to person for them. I'm like, girl, I knew you was popping because I mean, you're my
Yes.
client or whatever. But I know you was popping like popping like this. And so, it's just like even like raising those prices and it just gives you more confidence even when you show up to the calls and even when you show up on social media. And something else, like it's taking away the stress that I always have to show up on social media. Like today was the first I even posted on my story. Not saying that you should do this, but in a long time.
Yeah.
Because like I'm not stressed like, oh, I have to get clients or I have to do this or I have to do this. Like you just feel so much more relaxed, whereas like I can show up for my clients and then I can go show up for my family and
Yes.
be great at all of that and still have time for myself, like yeah, it's listen.
That just sounds so beautiful. Like you just said, I can show up for my clients, I can show up for my family, I can show up for myself. Like what more is there? I really
Right.
don't know.
Right.
So like this is just
Yeah.
it's so beautiful. It's so inspiring just to hear, where you started within, 6 months, able to really just completely change things and grow. Like that is exponential growth, I think.
Yeah,
I
for
think
sure. And I think something like we didn't really talk about was like the systems
hmm
that you and I like, that was really important to me like during that VIP day, which is why one of the main reasons when you were saying like you want to just do like the full program, I'm like, girl, no, I need help today. And like those like really going through and like getting your templates, like I still use most of like those canned emails, like those templates. Like I don't want anybody to skip out on that because it's a lot of work putting it in, like implement, don't get me wrong, but it really saves the day. Like though I just sent out or read the feedback from one of my design clients. She's doing a branding and website, and I did the one logo because one concept because who got time for multiple,
nobody.
and and she was like, I absolutely love it, this, that, and that. And so it just makes the process just so much easier. And having those workflows, having that automation, just all the things that you taught, like besides the value, besides the confidence, besides the price increase, like all that stuff is good. But I tell you what's worse than not having all those things is having it and not having systems in place to keep up with all the people that you done brought in.
Yeah.
And especially like if you, let's say somebody who's watching does join DTP and then they do their 50K, let's say in 3 or 4 months or 6 months or even a year, like that's still an accomplishment.
Yeah.
But like if you're not used to that level of like client and like they're not used to making this investment and all of that stuff, like you're gonna feel terrible if they come in and you know how to like raise your prices, do all the things, but like your back end isn't together.
Yeah.
And so that's one thing that I really 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 loved about your program, because not only was it just, oh, just raise your price, or here's how you raise your price, or here's how you articulate your value. It was like, okay, this is what you do, and I know what you're gonna need once you do that, and this is your system. So here's the systems too, And so I just loved it. It was like literally the full package, and even stuff that like you didn't have to do, as far as like, because you don't promise to teach us any design stuff, but like I've been on calls and people need help like figuring out what to have on their one page website, or different things like that, and like you go above and beyond to make sure that everybody, I don't know why I'm about to cry, to make sure everybody that's on that call or just in the program in general, even if you have to watch the replay, are taken care of, and so that doesn't go unnoticed. I want to give you your flowers while I'm up here, because it really is appreciated, even for those of us who like don't necessarily like need that support, but just knowing that if I do need that support, here it is. And I want to, if you have anything to say, or can I keep going?
No, keep going, keep going. I don't want to interrupt.
Okay. So since the VIP day, I don't know if this would be like implemented for others, so I'm sorry if it's not. But I've still been on the DTP like weekly calls for the most part. Like I really try my hardest to get on them. But one time I needed help, y'all. Like this was after the VIP day. I was good to go. Amber had did everything and more that she had promised to do. But I needed help, like dire help. And so I went into the portal and I put my question in for the first time. And my question was about like how to really like start this agency, and like how to bring people on and who to bring on and all these different things. And when I tell y'all, like they really helped me. Amber was like, okay, do this, do this, do this, do this, do this, and here's an idea, and here's an idea, and here's an idea. And then the other coaches were able to like pour into me and like tell me, okay, well this is what I did, or this is what I advise you don't do, or different things. And it was just so helpful. And from there, like I've been able to hire like for 2 roles. I'm about to fill my 3rd one now, and it's like just been such a blessing to just know that I still have, access to them if needed. And like I've had some DTP students who reached out to me and said like, "Hey Sarah, like how do you, how did you do this, or what do you think about this?" And so I just love being even like a resource to other people as well that I know, support me and are there for me, and I can do that same thing for them. So like the community aspect, the fact that Amber knows like where you're headed and what to expect next, and she can see the curve in the road before you even get on that street. It's just like it's like having maps. It's Apple Maps. Amber, Apple Maps.
Yes,
She know where
I
you
will
going.
take that. I love that so much. And you're like the community, the support. Like it's not just
Yeah.
like I'm not really. I'm not the one that makes the program a success. I'm not. It really is the students. It's you guys doing the work. It's the support you guys share with each other. Just, knowing that you have a place that is full of people who are working towards the same exact thing as you and are using the same strategies as you. It's not like a bunch of, like if you're in a free group, you never know what kind of advice you're going to get. It's not like that.
Right.
It's very curated, high level, feedback and response
Right.
that you're getting from everyone. And that it really is invaluable. And just the community
Right.
that has been cultivated, I am just blown away and so grateful for it because it is beyond anything I ever could imagine. So, I mean, I just appreciate you being a resource for other students and, being so open and available because that really is what it's about. Like, we're not competition with each other. We're really there to help each other. And we genuinely want to see everyone win. And yeah,
Yeah.
if you come ask me a question, I'm gonna give you everything I got. I really want to see you win. When our students are winning, it's like, okay, what we're doing is working. It's worth it, right? Like if y'all aren't getting results, there's no point in doing this. So I'm just so thankful that you took the time to share your story with us, to share, what is possible because a lot of us, I think, don't really know what's possible. I know I didn't. When I heard someone say 20K month, I'm like, what? Like as a regular person, what do you mean 20K month? But we're opening the eyes of the designers out here because we run stuff. Like we run this,
Yeah.
and we got
Yeah.
to get paid for it and be able to go on vacation,
Right.
be able to
Right.
the wife, the mom, the husband, whoever you want to be to whoever you need to be it to. Like having that
Right.
time, that space, availability is priceless.
Yeah. And something else I wanted to add for like those of us who do feel like we're like seasoned designers and maybe like DTP isn't for us because like we kind of know what we're doing already, like all of that type of jazz. I say this with love. You still need to be in DTP. And I'm going to tell you why. So I recently, and this isn't to bash anybody, I want to start with that. I'm sharing my experience. Okay. Okay. So I recently joined a coaching program, and it was because it was taught to designers, like beginner designers, it should have been. And so because of that, I found myself, even though that one had like a community and all that good stuff, I felt myself feeling like out of place because I was too advanced for like that group, And so I had to reflect back, and even when I was in that program, like I still was leaning on DTP because I'm at a place where, don't get me wrong, I'll help anybody who would ask me for help, but I'm at a place where I need to share with like-minded people who are already on my level, not people who necessarily look up to me. Like I want to be able to look around and be like, okay, like we all on the same playing field, like we all on the same team.
Yeah.
And so that was something I really also like valued more so after, like being in a different environment and looking back and being like, dang, like DTP really is like the best because you can't get that anywhere else where like everybody already know how to design for the most part, like before you even make that investment. And so like that's something that's already out the way, like we aren't focused solely on that. Like you got a question or you want to run something by us, like we're here, but like that's not the primary focus. And so I appreciated that so much as well because it's like we're all together, like we're all trying to get to these higher ticket months, not just landing our first client or that type of thing. So I really appreciated that too.
I love that. That's a huge valid point. I recall at some point feeling like I had achieved the most out of everyone in the room. And it's like,
Yeah.
while that's great, I can help other people, but there's no one to help me.
Right.
And you can't grow that way. So just your mindset. I think I told you that the very first day. I was like, I love your mindset, just the way that you are thinking about things, because it really is the determining factor if you continue to move up, that mindset. And that's huge. You have to be around people who are either, at the same level or above, so that you have that guidance, a roadmap.
Yeah.
It's imperative.
Yeah, definitely.
It
And that's why like I like that you have like the coaches and stuff too, because like Crystal and Janaea, I think
uh-huh.
is how you say her name. Like they can like also like pour into us and be like, okay, well that's what I'm doing with my agency, or
Yeah.
I'm taking a step back from my agency. This is why, this is how, whatever. And so I just literally chef's kiss every time.
Love it. I love that so much. It's just, you just, every time I have a interview with a student, it just really opens my eyes more and more of just how like holistic this thing is. It's not. It really isn't just a course. It isn't just a
Hmm.
coaching program. It's so much more than that, and it can help you over and over and over again, even as you continue
Yeah.
to grow and evolve. And I just love that, and that's exactly what I wanted it to be. Like, you don't feel like you're missing anything, right?
Hmm.
Love it. Okay. Of course, we could go on and on and on and on, but we all, we're busy. So let's go ahead. Let's wrap it up. I do want to have you share first, before we end. Where can the people find you if they want to reach out, say hello, connect? If they have questions, where can they find you?
Yeah, so if you guys want to connect with me, you should. You can find me on Instagram at Sarah Monroe Media, and my business pages are linked there and all that good stuff. But yeah, if you have any questions, if you want to know like if Amber's like really real, like if she's really going to help you, or really like anything else, if you just have any questions, like definitely feel free to reach out. Like I said, this is my honest feedback and opinions. And I highly recommend this program to literally every single designer that I know because it literally changed my life. So, yeah.
I love it. Thank you so much, Sarah. I appreciate you. Thank you for just trusting me, trusting the process, trusting the program, and being a resource now, because that's exactly what you are. I hope that those of you who are watching are feeling inspired. I hope that you're feeling empowered and really believing in yourself that this is possible for you too. Um,
Mm-hmm.
our students, they are special, but you are too. Like, we're all special. And
Mm-hmm.
you can absolutely do anything that you desire. You can achieve anything you desire in your business. And we're both proof of that. All of our students are proof of that. So thank you so much, Sarah, for sharing your story, your journey. And we're gonna have to do a update once, I think about a year from now. I can only even imagine what your life and your business will look like. So we're gonna definitely have to
Definitely.
get a update scheduled, so we can keep watching. I love to see you guys grow. So thank you so much, you guys, and we will see you on the next one.
Bye.